Just really quickly, our next segment, California Poets in Schools. But this is a little bit unusual, California Poets in Schools. California Poets in the Schools is a statewide organization, but there's a branch of it, sort of a maverick wing of it, that happens in Berkeley, Oakland, and Livermore. And that goes through Poetry Flash. It's part of our writers, nature, and community effort, and what we are here for and what we really believe in. And this year, our project manager, Maureen Hurley, who usually presents at Watershed for us, children from the program, she passed away suddenly this summer, and it was kind of a shock. And she would be here instead of me if she were still with us. But we're going to have now Brennan DeFrisco, who's the author of Honeysuckle and Nightshade. He's also in the slam scene, and he's a wonderful poet teacher. And Tureeda Mikell, who's a wonderful, wonderful poet, who's read at Watershed with us at Berkeley High School and all sorts of things before. Yes, I am. I'm going to say your book. That's next. The Body, Oracle of Memory is her beautiful new book. It's a wonderful new book. And we're so honored, really, Tureeda and Brennan, to have you here. And you've done such beautiful work teaching these kids. And I'm just honored. Poetry Flash is honored to be part of it. So that's part of why we always have children read here. We weren't able to get children to come this time, partly because of the situation with Maureen, but sharing the poems are Tureeda and Brennan.
Wow, it's hard to believe that Mo has left the building and she is no longer with us. Our last residency together was at Malcolm X Elementary School in Berkeley. This is her poem. Consider the river. Consider the river winding its way from frozen north where old school holds onto the past, where the rights of the few outnumbers that of those oppressed by race, poverty, or credo. The river carries to those downstream a longing for portage across a distant no bridge spans. Only the shining river spills into freedom, spills into light. Maureen Hurley. Work is widely published in print and electronic media. She's won several grants and awards, including 2 Sonoma County Artist Fellowships, a Poet Laureate, a Pushcart nominee. She has mentored and shared the stage nationally and internationally with poets including Al Young, Gelway Kennel, Maya Angelou, Juan Felipe Herrera, including National Poetry Association and Poetry International. Area coordinator for California Poets in the Schools, Alameda County. She's led workshops for students of all ages and abilities in California, Montana, the Bahamas, Mexico, the Netherlands, Ukraine, and the former USSR. Her photos are featured in an upcoming documentary on Berkeley street poet Julia Vinograd. That's who she was. That's the legacy she's left behind. And I felt I just wanted to read that so you could remember who she was. So just have a... This is from Emerson Elementary, 4th grade. I am. I am lightning, shining bright in the sky like a gold diamond in the atmosphere, levitating magically at night with bolts striking the ground. I come from transparent stars, a patient home, and a flying cloud. I come from geometry, magical people. My name means generous, joy. I follow calm rivers. My rule is to be desperate. I come from transparent stars, a patient home, a flying cloud. I come from geometry, magical people. Heartless. I don't like this hard, strict existence. The injustices, amazing. The heartlessness, painful, hurtful, sad. Sapphire's uncountable heartlessness sees homeless, takes away welfare, food stamps, Section 8. Heartless sees homeless under freeways, cops everywhere, arrest criminals, drug dealers, drug lords, parents, children without family, without home, without food. Heartless. This was middle school. Brennan DeFrisco is our area coordinator for California Poets in the Schools. It's been around since 1964, and I was area coordinator just before Maureen was area coordinator, and then, we take on the mantle and we pass it on. And this young man here, my goodness, his work is amazing. What he's done for the poets in the schools is amazing. Let's welcome Brennan DeFrisco.
Hello, folks. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing the space. Thank you for basically, of all the things you could be doing in space and time, you chose to be here and to be sharing words and art and poems and community. So thank you for you. Thank you for being here. Before I get started with some of these student poems, just for myself to say about our recently departed coordinator and mentor and friend and leader and community member. Maureen was one of the first folks in California Poets in the Schools who basically taught me how to be a teaching artist. She was in my first year of training, very closely worked with her, was very, very supportive of getting me in front of students and getting me in front of schools, helping me when I didn't do it perfectly, and teaching me that that's kind of how you become a teacher, is learning through the mistakes and the imperfections and striving to be better at what you do for these students, for the K through 12 adults, seniors, incarcerated youth that we tend as our community. So just want to say, in gratitude of Maureen, that I am for all the praise that Tureeda is kind enough to give me, and her included in this conversation. Tureeda has also been there since the first year I started being a teaching artist. That the gratitude it fills you with to have your path filled with wonderful writers and mentors and community who care about the arts and care about how we hold each other in this space. So just want to say thank you before I get started with anything, to thank you, Maureen. The poems that we have, We have, through California Poets in the Schools, a annual state anthology in which poets from across the state, K through 12, will submit their work for consideration to be published in an annual book. We have a couple example copies over there at our table if you want to come take a peek. Some of the poets, including Tureeda, are in books such as those. And the first two poems I'm going to read, which overlap with the mission of Watershed, are ecological poems that were done by elementary schoolers who have been published in the state anthology. So this first piece is called The Wilderness in Me by Anson von Staden, grade 4. There is an octopus living inside me, a strange, majestic, magical swimmer. It taught me to be me and block any opinions out with inkful proudness, and how to escape to a safe place of music. The wilderness left it for me in the coral reef. There is a horse living inside me, a dirty but beautiful creature. It taught me to calm down and not care what others think of me, and just trot by them and get to live life happily. The wilderness left it for me in a beautiful field. There is a California condor living inside me, a giant, strong, fearless bird. It taught me not to be afraid and soar through fear. The wilderness left it for me in a cloud. This is from Cortland Gamble, grade 5. It's called Dance the Pomegranate. Dance the pomegranate, sweetness to savor, like grenades of juice, bursting with flavor. A room of excitement, a room of seeds, soft and chewable, fitting your needs. Dance the pomegranate, and you shall seek the flavor of flavors soon to leak from your mouth and onto your shirt. Not too easy, this juice is too clean. Now go on, buy a few. The fruit of heaven, the fruit for you. This next poem, when OUSD was on strike, we had a Solidarity elementary school that was largely comprised of parents and teachers and, the general public of park attendants who wanted to have somewhere for them to go and for them to learn. And so they brought me in to do some poetry lessons in the park. And this is from one of the third graders who asked to remain anonymous, which is also something we do in my workshops, because not every poet wants to be put on the spotlight, but it does give them a chance to be heard by their classmates and have their work shared with the room. So this is called An Iris. An iris swinging with the grass, a faint, hazy sound of waves crashing through the break of wind, sudden buzzing in my ear. I jump back into reality. What was that feeling? The one that spaced my mind, the one where everything felt just right. Could this be peace? Freedom? No, it's more. It feels right. So nice, so calm. I'm sprung into life. This poem comes from another anonymous poet from San Leandro, a 6th grader. This is called If I Were an Artist. If I were an artist who specialized in painting, then I would want to show a meaning, an idea, a reality, a connection between myself and another, a message to leave to the world, with perspective as their eyes and mine allow, to speak words, voices not needed, with an eye to perceive, as I see a heart of words spoken in silence, paint strike by paint strike. And last note I'll say, if anyone is interested in bringing some teaching artists to their school, to their community, to their wherever, please come say hi. If you are a writer, a poet, someone who's interested in working with the youth in your local community, please come over. We'll be happy to give you some information on how to get involved with the program. And last thing I'll say on behalf of Maureen is that there was an artist who described the participation of art with art. The participation with art, however you do it, is participation with the infinite. In that our art tends to live on much longer than we do, if we're lucky. So I wanted to say, just rest in poetry to Maureen. So thank you, everybody, for having us.